Hello everybody, this is Kay and thank you for watching my channel today. If you're new to my channel, again, thank you so much, and please subscribe, hit that like button at the end of the video if you like what you've watched here today, and also feel free to share my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, I thank you so much and support of my channel. This is part 2 of Franken pages video. In the first video I actually made the pages, and I will link that video below in case you haven't watched it yet if you want to go back and watch it, where I actually put these pages together. I'm working on a series of 6 journals, and I wanted to use up some of the pieces of scrapbook paper that I had used as part of the covers to kind of make Franken pages that sort of coordinated with the covers. So that's what I did in that video. In this video, I'm going to decorate and embellish some of the pages because there's some parts of them that are pretty plain. For example, this one right here, I used mostly plain papers, actually pretty much all plain papers, no book page or music paper, and it's just kind of plain looking. So I'm going to do some decorating and embellishing of a few of these today, but I have already done a couple of them. So I'll show you those real quick before we get started with the decorating of the other ones. So this one, I was pretty happy with the way the front here looked. The only really plain spot I had on this one was this section right here, which was the other side of this scrapbook paper. It was plain white, so I distressed it up a little bit. I put a butterfly stamp on the background, and I made kind of a grungy pocket here with a few of my scraps. It's actually kind of a double pocket. It's got a little mini pocket here and a bigger pocket here, and I just kind of sewed around it and grunged it up to kind of take away that blatant white space that was there on that one. This one, the only thing I really did was some stamping and distressing on this side, which was, again, the other side of the scrapbook paper. I used some one-sided scrapbook paper, and that's why it was so white and bright. I needed to do something about that. So I did that there. I do think I want to do something else on the inside of this to kind of make this inside a little bit more interesting. And then on this one, again, I just did a little something to the opposite side of that scrapbook paper. All I did here was some distressing and some stenciling. I used some different interesting papers on this one, so it wasn't quite as plain, I guess you could say, as the other ones. So that one, I think I'm pretty much done with. I don't know that I'm going to do much more to that one. Set that aside. So I have these other 3 that are quite plain, and I just want to do a little bit of decorating and embellishing to make them a little bit more interesting. See how bright white that is? And that one as well, I want to do something about those spaces. All right, on this white space on here, I'm going to take this stencil. I don't know how well you can see that. It's kind of a corner, a large corner stencil, but I'm going to place it on here. Let's see, how should I do this? Yeah, maybe like that. And it may overlap onto some of the other spots with that aren't part of that white space, but I still think that it'll kind of tie it in with that whole space. And I'm going to use my Distress Oxide and Ground Espresso for this, one of my little blending brushes. I'm just going to take what's left on my blending brush and kind of try and just dull down the white space that's still there a little bit. got a scrap piece of paper here, and I think I'm just going to add up here in the corner kind of one of those wrap over little corner tuck spots. So I'm just going to fold this into kind of a triangle like this, and then I'm just going to take my tearing ruler and kind of tear off this extra little rectangle section. And then what I'm going to do, because I want this to go over the corner like this, I'm going to take this in half this way, and so I'll be making kind of two little corner tucks out of this one piece. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I'm not really measuring or making sure I'm in the exact middle, but it'll probably work out. So what I'm going to do here is put this over the top of the page like this, and I'm going to have a corner tuck spot on both ends, but first I want to ink this up a little. So let me get out my ground espresso again, and I think I'll just use the same brush. This is newspaper print I have in the background here, so I don't mess up any of my work mat getting the ink or anything on it. Just the tiniest amount of glue on the inside here on that crease, just to kind of hold it on the edge of that page. And then I pulled out a roll of my washi tape. I think I'll put that over the top edge here to hold it in place. And it'll also add a little bit more interest to that page. Okay, so just doing those couple of things to this page has made it quite a bit more interesting, but I do think that I want to add something to those pockets. So I pulled out this little sticker book. I got this some time ago in one of those gravy boxes, and I think I'll find just a little sticker to put on each side of this upper corner tuck spot. Do one more thing to the outside of this page. This is going to be the outside, and that is add a little bit of my gold paint splatter. Set that aside to dry and move on to my next page. have this really neat stamp set from Stampers Anonymous as part of the Tim Holtz collection. It's called Curiosity Shop, and I found this on Amazon. And I'm going to, I've barely used it. You can see I've only used a couple of the stamps, but I thought that this long strip of numbers would look really nice and interesting along this white edge of along this white strip, just like that. So I'm going to use some archival ink. This is in the color sepia, and ink those up and just stamp that right along that little strip right there. Looks really neat. My stamping is a little smeary right in the 1, 2, 3 area, but that doesn't matter to me. I still think it looks really neat. Alright, so that's the outside of this one. I'm going to flip it over now, and I'm going to do some stamping with some of the other stamps from this set right in this area. I think I'll use the number set again and just kind of go right along the bottom here, and then maybe use this little pointing finger one up here. I'm going to start with that one. This little light bulb stamp on this part of this page, because this is probably not going to be in the middle of the signature, and it'll be separated anyway, so I think I'll go ahead and put a little stamp right up there. Okay, so that looks really nice. I like the way that looks. One more thing I think I want to do here is take a scrap of paper, and I've got another piece of that book page like I used on that corner pocket, and I'm just going to tear and make a little journaling spot here. So I'm just going to tear this down. Doing something like that is a quick and easy way to turn a spot that maybe isn't an ideal journaling spot into a better journaling spot. So I just added that there. I think maybe I should pick out one more little sticker to put in the corner here from my little sticker book, and call this one done. I like this little butterfly one down here with the ticket number 118 on there. I'm not sure what happened to my audio during this section, so I'm going to do a little bit of voiceover here. As you can see, I'm just using my ink again to distress this really bright white space, and I have a cluster that I'm going to pull out here in just a second. It's kind of a belly band cluster that I made quite some time ago that I'm going to use on the front of this page because there's some funky stitching on it that I kind of want to cover up. So I'm going to put that on there here in a minute. But first I'm going to go back to the inside and do something to this white space that I just distressed. So I'm using some kind of golden glitter ink here to do some stenciling on this white space of this page. After I did this, I just went to the front and glued that little cluster I made at the top and the bottom. So now I have a belly band here, and it covers up that wonky stitching that I didn't like on the front of that one. On this page, I've already done a little bit of distressing and stamping on the front side of this, but I think what I want to do on the inside here is I want to do some stamping along this edge, and then maybe make a vellum pocket to put maybe like a side pocket. And then I'm also thinking maybe I'll add one of those little journaling spots right here on the other side of this scrapbook paper. So I pulled out this stamp that I found at a thrift store. I got this for $4, and it's a beautiful floral stamp by Stampin' Up. I don't think it's ever been used. It doesn't look like there's any ink staining on it, so I think I want to just take this and stamp this whole side of this page. Maybe I'll do this one in black since I'm going to be putting kind of a vellum pocket over it, and it might obscure it just a little bit. So I'm going to pull out my jet black archival ink and ink this up and stamp all over this kind of plain side of this page. So it left a little bit of a line where I had to like do a second stamp to cover the whole thing, and I'm not too happy about that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of this washi tape and I'm going to put it across there, and I think I'll put a piece along here too where some of my stamping overlapped, and that'll make it look like, you know, that's part of my design strategy, and it'll also cover up at the same time, kind of cover up that spot that I didn't, you know, like the way it turned out, the way it looks like a line between the stampings there. So I'm actually going to take my glue stick too, and sometimes washi tape doesn't stick very well on its own. I think it's intended to be like a temporary tape. So I'm going to run this across my glue stick before I stick it on. I've got this lovely piece of kind of yellowish brown vellum here. So what I'm going to do is I'm I'm going to tear it off a little bit beyond the edge. I want to, actually, you know what I think maybe I'll do is make it a double layer. You'll still be able to see through, just so it'll be a little bit more durable. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. I'll tear off this little piece of excess. So this will be my pocket like this, side pocket here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this on, because I do have some issues with the vellum and gluing it on. So I think what I'll do is I'll take this to my sewing machine, and the first thing I'll do is a zigzag stitch just along this edge, and then I'm going to sew it to my page with just a straight stitch along these three edges to make the pockets. So I'm going to take it to my machine, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so there's that one. You can just see, you know, you can, even though I doubled it up, you can still see the stamping in the background. And now we have a nice little pocket for tucking stuff into. And then I'm going to take the other piece of that. That's not big enough. Let me find another piece of scrap paper, and I'm just gonna do like I did on that other one and make a little journaling spot here. All right, so I put that on there, and that one is now finished. I'm gonna go back to this one because the plainness of this front is still bothering me. I think what I'll do is I'll take that other piece of the corner pocket that I had made for that other one, but I'll do it on the bottom here as a tuck spot. And then I'm thinking about doing some more stamping up here. I really, really love this typewriter stamp. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that here. And I've got some words I can play with here too, like stay curious, or I don't want to do happy birthday or anything like that, but thoughts and theories, that's a good one too. That I think goes along good with the typewriter. So maybe I'll do that. I'll do the typewriter. I'll do thoughts and theories right below the typewriter like that. And then I'm also going to get my Distress Oxide back out and distress the edges of this pocket and stamp those on. I think maybe I'll go ahead and use black ink on that. And then maybe even add a little sticker, I'm not sure, but let me do this part first. Rather than a sticker on this pocket, I'll go ahead and just add another little stamp using this little light bulb stamp. Okay, and that turned out really neat too. Now we have a little tuck spot, and it's on the inside, on the outside and the inside. We have the little corner tuck spots on that one. Okay, so let me just do a quick wrap up of the decorating and embellishing of these Franken pages today. Just a little bit of time and we fancied these up quite a bit. Some of them were super plain to start with. This is one that I had partially done already, but I added that pocket with the stamping and the washi tape and this journaling spot. This one, I added the stamping and the distressing and the pockets on the inside, kind of double pocket there. This one, I added the belly band and then some stenciling on the inside. And this one I had done before I started this video with the stenciling and the distressing on the inside. And that's all I did to this one. I just thought it was already kind of interesting because I used more of a variety of papers to make this Franken page with. Thank you so much for watching today, and again I will link the video below of part 1 where I actually made the Franken pages if you want to go back and watch that, and I hope you have a blessed day.